That's the artist and the album title. I know, Geoffrey. I know what you're going to say. I've never heard of her, and I haven't heard the music. So, look, the great Lord Archer is here. Friend of the show, of course. That's part of the reason, but also because he has this, and this is really significant. Because you started this journey, really, of a police officer called William Warwick. And you said, I'm going to write, was it 7 or 8? 8. And this is number 8.
Number 8. This is the final one when William is now a commander. And I was looking at the years and noticed that the Olympics were in 2012. So I decided to make him in charge, the commander in charge of the Olympic security. So I flew to Monaco and saw Seb Coe and said, tell me what went wrong. And he said, you know, I'm not really aware of anything that went wrong. You'll have to go and see Commander Broadhurst, who was in charge, and therefore the role model for my hero. And I sat down with him and said, what went wrong? And I thought I'd get a couple of juicy things. 14 things went wrong. Wow. 2 of them could have closed the Olympic Games. Wow. 1 of them could have closed the opening ceremony. And he told me these. They're in the book. And I put 7 of my own in.
Gosh.
So there are 21 in all. You have to decide which are real and did happen and which didn't happen.
Not to spoil anything, but one of the ones I know was real was the possibility the Queen might not get into the stadium. After they'd done the whole famous Daniel Craig, Good Evening, Mr. Bond, that one, and she comes out the parachute, out the helicopter, and she then has to come in the stadium, but she nearly didn't make it.
And if the camera had gone over to the royal box, as it did when she was flying down, you were meant to see the Queen who's about to open the games. A group of cyclists, 100 of them, not breaking the law, decided to get to the tunnel first and then lie down in the tunnel, which would have held her up for at least an hour, maybe more. So it was a race between the police and the Queen. They rang the Queen's driver and asked if he could speed up, and he said no. Her Majesty never breaks the speed limit.
Wow.
So the police are here praying the cyclists don't get there. The Queen is there without knowing what's going on. We're sitting in the stadium, haven't got a clue. This one man knows that his whole career rests on the next 12 minutes.
Well, look, we had to say congratulations to Geoffrey because at the age of, well, mid-80s, let's say...
85.
Well, that is definitely mid-80s. You've sold 320 million books. Isn't it amazing, Aisha?
It's absolutely...
And he never stops.
It's incredible. I mean, Geoffrey's talent and work ethic is to be completely admired, and his books are so loved all across the world. I mean, I have relatives in India who absolutely love... And you've got a huge market in India, haven't you?
Yeah.
Weren't you in India and someone was knocking on your car window trying to sell you a knockoff version of your book?
I came out of the airport at Mumbai, and the cars in India don't travel that fast. And I get a knock on. There's a little boy with a pile of books, and he knocks on the window and says, I wind down. He says, would you like the latest Geoffrey Archer? I said, I am the latest Geoffrey Archer.
OK, well, not only an author, but Geoffrey's also a former Conservative MP. So I'm going to show this. You've got to brace yourself for what's coming next, Geoffrey, because this is... It's like watching Apocalypse Now for the Conservatives. This poll, Sky News has put together some data from a YouGov poll which has come out. On its own, it's shocking. It is actually following recent trends, so it's not out of line. If an election were held tomorrow, Farage's party Reform would be narrowly short of a majority, but look how much bigger they would be than all the other parties. 311 MPs in the House of Commons. You need 326 for a majority. But so far, more than twice the number of the Labour MPs after an election. Lib Dems holding steady, 78. The Conservatives basically destroyed, down to 45. SNP sort of almost in recovery mode. Let's just have a look at the ups and downs here, because this is just amazing. They compare it with the last election. Reform gaining almost all their seats are a gain. Labour losing 267 Lib Dems, steady as she goes. The Tories down 76. Look, it's 4 years away. So it's just notional. But, Geoffrey, it must be chilling your former colleagues.
I had lunch with a young Conservative Member of Parliament last week and I said, how do you feel it's going? He said, I am the Member of Parliament for Orpington. I have a 5,000 majority. I will lose on these polls. And I said, what does that mean? He said, it means there'll be 25 Conservative members of Parliament.
Wow, so you lose everyone with a majority of 5,000 or less.
Less, sorry. Less. And plus a bit.
Orpington, just trying to think who that is. Interesting seat as well, isn't it? They had a big by-election in the 60s. What do you think, Aisha? Because I know it's sort of nonsense, but at the same time it is part of a trend.
It's not completely nonsense.
No, it's one that they've got to pay attention to.
Well, right, caveats. A lot can happen in 4 years. Just remember, Boris Johnson won that huge majority in 2019. People, including myself, thought that Boris Johnson would be in power for minimum 10 years. And yet, at the 2024 general election, Labour wins with this big majority. And even Labour winning losing a famous by-election, the Hartlepool by-election, people were like, Boris is going to be in charge forever.
Yeah.
So things can change. Having said that, the Labour Party and the Conservative Party should take these polls very, very seriously.
Right.
Particularly because there are big elections coming up in 2026 in Scotland, in Wales, in local elections, particularly around London. That will give us an opportunity to stress test the veracity of these polls. So I think, look, there is a lot that the public are upset with at the moment, understandably. After 14 years of the Conservatives, they felt that the country was broken. After just over a year with Labour, they feel like change is not happening fast enough. And I think you're looking at a lot of dissatisfaction with both of the kind of heritage parties, if you like. Reform looks very attractive because they are a protest vote and we're against the established parties. But on the left, people are also looking at these parties, whether it's the Green Party. But what I would say is that with more scrutiny of Reform, right now Reform are riding really high. They're in this sweet spot where they're getting lots of media attention. People understandably are frustrated with Labour and Tory. But when you look at their policies, they are disintegrating. I mean, this ridiculous thing about paracetamol last week.
People don't care.
All the anti-Semitic. All I'd
They've
say,
had enough of both of us.
just wait until we get to the next election before we make that
I just
decision.
wanted. So you were saying you had a lunch with an anonymous Conservative MP, and you said it was the MP for Orpington.
Yes,
Gareth Bacon. Just say.
Well, Gareth said 25.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying we didn't keep him secret for long there. But I wonder whether also another story from this poll is that Kemi Badenoch can't.
Let's get on to that. That is more serious. When Margaret Thatcher was at the end of her first year as leader of the Conservative Party, she was not the Iron Lady. She was floundering. She was doing the best she could, but the rest of the party remained loyal.
No, it was the Falklands, wasn't it?
That's
what turned it around. 82.
Years later.
82.
Geoffrey, come on. Come on.
The first year
It's the
was
Falklands
not
that did it.
success.
No, I know.
We must, and your point about Wales and Scotland, if they go badly, there will be talk again of removing the Conservative leader.
Of course there will.
We've removed 5 of them in 5 years.
Geoffrey, we've got look, I'm not sugarcoating the problems in my party. You've got to be honest. It is very unlikely that Kemi Badenoch leads the Conservative Party in the next general election. You look at Robert Jenrick, who is running a very effective shadow operation, and he is moving the party closer to reform.
That's my point.
All right.
That's my point. In the days of Willie Whitelaw and in the days of Jim Pryor, who both stood against Margaret Thatcher, when she won, they shut up and were totally loyal and gave her a chance.
That's not the culture of your party now.
That's
but also
longer.
that was analogue. This is now moving. This is digital, and it moves so fast, and you're gone in a day in this new environment. OK, I'm only cutting this off. It's fascinating, but we've got to get on. Alexis wants your thoughts on this poll later. Oh, it's gone. Do you want Nigel Farage to be Prime Minister? Would you vote him in? The numbers are unbelievable. After the break, we're asking if the government is right to make digital ID cards compulsory for all adults. What about that idea? Will you get one? Give us a call now with your thoughts. 0207 862 2222. See you in a moment.